Welcome back, students. Today we are going to discuss Unit 5, and in this particular unit, we are going to discuss this particular topic, Plant Growth and Development Part 2. Before I start the main content, I would like to inform that the images used in this slide are for education purpose only. We respect intellectual property right of the original creator and owner of these images. If you are the owner of any of the images used in this PPT, have any concern, any issue, please contact us at sathee@iitk.ac.in and we shall remove the images. In this particular video lecture, we are going to discuss about plant hormones. Growth regulators, action of plant hormone, which is related to plant dormancy, germination, apical dormancy, senescence, and other things, and application of synthetic growth hormone. And this is the main topic of today's video lecture, this application of synthetic growth regulators and a brief account of growth and movement in plants. Okay, so let's start the topic. So as we discussed in previous lecture also, plant hormones, we can classify plant hormones into two different categories. Some comes under growth promoters category, some are under growth inhibitor category. So auxin, cytokinin and gibberellin, these three are under growth promoter category. But ethylene also have somehow little bit sometime work as a growth promoter. But in growth inhibitor, ethylene and abscisic acid, they are the core members of growth inhibitor. So this ethylene comes under both category, sometimes as a promoter, sometimes as a inhibitor. So there are 5 type of plant hormones. 3 comes under plant growth promoter category, auxin, cytokinin and gibberellin. Okay, and these 2 comes under inhibitor category, but not to we can say ethylene as comes under both the type. Okay, so hardcore core growth inhibitor, abscisic acid. Okay, hardcore promoters, auxin, cytokinin, gibberellin, and ethylene act as a promoter sometime and as an inhibitor sometimes. So these are the natural phytohormones. So very quickly, just I'll read out this particular table. What are the function of auxin? Cell elongation, apical dominancy, and root initiation. Okay, so it will promote the growth through cell elongation, apical dominancy, and root initiation. What are those examples? Tomato, pineapple, and apple. Gibberellic acid, again stem elongation. Stem elongation. For cell elongation, auxin, but when stem term come, then it is related to gibberellin. Stem elongation, it will break dormancy. Okay, and it helps seed germination and fruit development, gibberellic acid. Okay, in grapes, apple, sugarcane, it increase the length between two internodes. So sugarcane, barley, these are the example. Cytokinin promote divisions like cell division, shoot initiation, and it delaying leaf senescence. What are those examples? Wheat, rice, corn, and potato. Ethylene is involved in fruit ripening, leaf abscission, and flower induction. This is the work of ethylene. Okay, in tomato, bananas, pineapple, and apple. Abscisic acid as a growth inhibitor, seed dormancy, stomata closure, right? And it acts as it is also known as a stress hormone. So it responds in several stress conditions. What are those examples comes under this category? Wheat, corn, soybean, and rice. Now, application of natural growth hormones. So, auxin, gibberellic acid or gibberellin and cytokinin, these all three promote cell division, promote elongation and differentiation. So, ultimately promote cell growth or plant growth. ठीक है? So, they actually use to enhance crop growth and increase yield. Okay, while this ethylene control ripening process of the fruit during storage and transportation. So it control ripening process of fruit during storage and transportation. Gibberellins, they break seed dormancy and promote germination, especially in some crops like barley. Auxins, auxins promote root formation. Where? In stem cutting. Auxin promote root formation in stem cutting, so it is useful in propagation, plant propagation. It is a method of, you know, used by the people in tissue culture or cutting, development of plant through cutting. Okay, they use auxin for the initiation of shoot formation, right? Cytokinin is related to aging of the plant. So it is related to aging of the plant, it extending their productivity. Abscisic acid help plant to tolerate stress condition, that's why we can use the term stress hormone for this abscisic acid, such as stress conditions are like drought, extreme temperature, salinity. These are some kind of stress conditions. Gibberellic and cytokinin, both of them, gibberellic acid and cytokinin, these two are mainly involved in regulating flowering in plants. So these are some important lines on which in so many competitive examination various question has been developed and asked by the examiner. Now let's discuss some synthetic hormones, some synthetic growth regulator. So phytohormone or plant hormone, you know this, that these hormones play a crucial role in plant growth and development. Am I right? So they have diverse agriculture application. They because why? Because they enhance growth, they enhance yield to manage post harvest process and stress tolerance. Post harvest process and stress tolerance. Now let's discuss some kind of synthetic phytohormones like NAA, 2,4-D and BAP. These three are the examples comes under synthetic phytohormone category. What is the full form of NAA? 1. Naphthalene acetic acid. 2,4-D, 2,4-dichlorophenoxyacetic acid. BAP, benzyl aminopurine. Okay, NAA and 2,4-D comes under auxin category. They both are auxins. Okay, BAP comes under cytokine category. Okay, so what is the function of auxin? Promote rooting, useful for vegetative propagation from stem and leaf cutting, right? 2,4-D, so NAA, people use NAA to promote rooting, to promote vegetative propagation from leaf, stem. 2,4-D is involved to induce callus formation in plant tissue culture laboratory. It induced tissue callus formation from the leaf, right? It also 2,4-D also act as a common herbicide to control broadleaf weed. Clear? BAP is a kind of cytokine, so it stimulate cell division and shoot proliferation. Clear? So NAA involved in promoting rooting from cutting, 2,4-D callus formation and BAP cell division. Now a term related to plasticity. Plasticity term we also discuss over here. It is also related to this particular topic. So what is plasticity? Plasticity is the ability of plant to follow different pathway in response to environment or life phases, forming different structures like heterophyly in cotton, coriander, and larkspur. Juvenile leaves is differ in shape from the mature leaf. You can just look after over here. This is a type of structure of a leaf in juvenile form. This is in adult form, and these are the type of leaf type which are present in coriander in under terrestrial habitat. Okay, so heterophyly means uh, juvenile leaf is differ showing difference if we compare it with the adult phase of the plant. Juvenile leaf differ in size from mature leaf. Okay, buttercup. This is a buttercup. Leaves in air differ from the leaf in water. All the if some plants are present in the water habitat, the leaf type is like this, and this is the leaf type of the plant which are present normally in terrestrial habitat. Okay, so in buttercup, leaf in air differ from the leaf in plant. Photoperiodism, the response of a plant to the duration of light and dark period. Plant response to the light, and not light but the duration of light and dark period, it actually influences the flowering of the plant. So critical duration varies among different plant species. The duration of darkness is as crucial as light period of for flowering. Okay, so both light and dark period is relative duration are significant. So we can categorize plant into two different category, long day plant and short day plant. Okay, so long day plant actually require light expose exceeding a critical duration to initiate flowering. As you can see, this is the minimum requirement of the plant. This is the minimum requirement. This is the critical period. So long day plant require require more light expose exceeding a critical duration. Only that if it require more light and more light is available, then only it is able to initiate flowering. If light is less than the crucial requirement, then there is no flowering. Okay, so and what are the examples which comes under long day plant category? Spinach, lentils, and certain variety of wheat and barley comes under long day plant category. Some are comes under short day plant category. Okay, so short day plant require light expose less than a critical duration to initiate flowering. Example, chrysanthemum, okay, poinsettias, and certain variety of rice and tobacco. As you can see, if light is more than critical period, there is no flowering. If light is less than the critical period, flowering is there. Okay, so this type of plant comes under short day plant category. There are a different type of category also present, which is known as day neutral plant, in which flower regardless of light exposure duration. Example, tomato, cucumber, and some variety of rose comes under day neutral plant. They are not dependent upon the duration of the light. Okay, now mechanism of perception. Leaves are the site of dark and light duration perception. Shoot apex transform into flowering apex, but do not perceive photoperiod directly. Shoot apex transform into flowering apex, but do not perceive photoperiod directly. A hormonal substance hypothesized to be responsible for flowering. Okay, it actually migrates from the leaf to the shoot apex when exposed to the necessary photoperiod. Okay, so a hormone actually migrate from the leaf to the shoot apex when exposed to the necessary photoperiod. Okay, what is tropism? Tropism are of so many types. Like phototropism, it is related to light. Like geotropism, it is related to gravity. Hydrotropism, it is related to water. Chemotropism, related to chemical. And thigmotropism means touch related. So, growth or turning of the movement of the plant in response to various environmental stimuli. So, these are comes under various stimuli category. Light act as a stimuli, gravity act as a stimuli. Okay, so it depends on the direction of stimuli, unlike non-directional nestic movement. Okay, so phototropism, hydrotropism, geotropism, chemotropism, and thigmotropism. So growth or turning movement of a plant comes under this category. Okay, which is related to environmental stimuli. So first type is phototropism. So growth of an organism in response to light. In response to light. Okay, so cell farthest from the light contain auxins, causing elongation to the on the side away from the light. These are accumulated on this side. So it stimulates the movement of the plant towards the light like this. Okay. So we can further divide phototropism into so many categories like positive phototropism means growth towards the light source. Negative means growth away from the light source. Third is scototropism, growth towards the darkness. It is distinct from the negative phototropism. In this particular case, growth occurs towards the darkness, while negative phototropism is something different, growth away from the light source. Okay. Now, gravitropism. It differentiates growth by a plant in response to gravity. Okay, in response to gravity. We can observe though both the plants and the fungi influenced by the natural and artificial gravity. You can observe gravitropism in both plants as well as in fungi. It is influenced by the natural and artificial gravity. Charles Darwin documented that root exhibit positive gravitism, means root move towards the downward side, positive gravitropism, while stem exhibit negative gravitropism, means it grows upward, means opposite side of the gravity, right? Now hydrotropism, when plant growth response occur towards the water concentration side. Okay, a plant growth response where the direction is determined by water concentration gradient. As you can see over here, root move towards the water side. Okay, this is known as hydrotropism. Plant root growing in humid air blend towards the higher humidity level. This is known as hydrotropism. It enhances plant efficiency in its ecosystem. Root cap actually sense water and then movement occur towards the water location. Okay, these root cap actually sense water and send signals to the elongating part of the root. Now, chemotropism means plant growth movement towards the chemical stimuli. Plant growth response to the chemical stimuli. Some pollen tube grow towards the ovule like this, towards the ovule, and after the movement it transporting male sperm to the female ovule. So plant response towards the chemical stimuli too, and this is known as gametropism. Ovary release chemical, some kind of chemical which stimulate positive chemotropism, which responds to the pollen tube. Okay, root show positive chemotropism also by growing towards the useful minerals. So sometimes gravitropism and also some roots show positive Cabitropism for growing and utilizing these minerals which are present nearby soil. Okay, so roots show negative and sometime root also show negative chemotropism by growing away from the harmful acid. If there are some harmful acids in the particular region in the soil, then roots show a negative chemotropism, growing away from that particular area. Okay, so gravitropism towards the gravity, but for chemical response also, root show positive chemotropism for minerals and negative chemotropism or movement of the root or growth for the um, harmful acid. They just move away from that particular side. Next is, or last one is the thigmotropism, means directional growth movement in response to the touch. Directional growth movement in response to the touch. It is common in twinkling plants and tendrils. And these are also found in flowering plant and fungi. Like flowering plant like Portulaca grandiflora, this is one of the example, can move or grow their sex organ towards a pollinator that land on that particular flower. Okay. Next uh, term which is related to this particular plant hormone topic is vernalization. What is vernalization? As you know, that many plants do not come to flower before they experience a low temperature, means they require low temperature for the flowering purpose. There is no flowering if they do not experience low temperature. So that time these plants remain under vegetative during warm season. When they experience low temperature during winter, they very quickly grow and then bear flower and fruit. This is known as vernalization. Okay, as you can see, this is a slightly germinated seed. Okay, if chilling temperature or low temperature are there for a month, about 5 degrees centigrade, that particular plant show flowering. If there is no chilling, no low temperature, okay, ordinary temperature, there is no flowering, so that type of plant is known as non-vernalized plant. So vernalization is a process of shortening juvenile or vegetative phase. Shortening of juvenile or vegetative phase of that plant and hastening the flowering by previous cold treatment. Example, when seeds of winter rye variety were germinate at 1 degree for 4 weeks, means chilling temperature for 4 weeks. The plant flowered 11 week after planting. But at the same time, if we germinate the seeds at about 18 degree, that time that plant didn't show any kind of flowering. There are two pots you can see in this particular picture. In this first pot, seeds were germinated at 1 degree for 4 weeks, so it will show flowering and seed formation. In second pot, seed germinated at 18 degree, they are not able to produce seed and flowering. This is known as vernalization. Some kind of seed require low temperature, okay, for flowering and seed formation. Now, biennial plants. Biennial plants means those plant species that have complete their life cycle in 2 years. In first year, they complete their vegetative growth, and in second year, they spread out their reproductive growth, right? Their reproductive growth, like flowering and seed formation in second year. Okay, plant we can categorize into 3 type: annual plant, biennial plant, and perennial plant. Annual plant, those require only 1 year for their all type of growth. Some plant require 2 year, 1 year for vegetative growth and another year for flowering and seed formation. Perennial, so many years. Okay, so biennial plants like sugar beet, cabbage, and carrot comes under biennial plant category. Normally, flower and die, flowering occur in the flowering, seeding, these things occur in the second season. Okay, in biennial plant. So cold treatment in the first season, if we apply certain kind of cold treatment in the first season, they actually stimulate flowering in the second season in some plants, sugarcane, cabbage, and carrot. Okay, so this is related to uh, plant growth regulators topic. I hope most of the things has been cleared now. If you have any, if you found any type of difficulty related to this topic, please let me know. We will discuss it later on. Till then, take care, bye bye, and keep learning. Namaskar.